And Tate Martell bounced around from place to place. I don't know what this means for Jackson Arnold's future at Oklahoma. I do know that we watched the backup and Michael Hawkins come off the bench and outplay him against the best team that Oklahoma has faced since Texas last year. And by the way, Oklahoma beat Texas last year. Okay? I'm also really, really proud of how Tennessee played this football game. I think that Josh Heupel put a lot on tape that he can be proud of, but also they didn't look great. They looked okay. Nico Iamaleava didn't look great. He looked okay. I don't think that they're going to look at this tape and feel great about this win offensively. Defensively, yeah, we played lights out. We got the 5-star quarterback to hook. We got the National Gatorade Player of the Year bounced out the game, and Oklahoma couldn't run the football to save their lives. That's what I would say, because that is what's true. That's straight up and down. Tim Banks' defense deserves everything that they're going to get for how they play today, and that was the reason I was telling anybody that would listen to fear Tennessee. It wasn't what the offense was going to do. It's what the defense was going to do to Oklahoma's offense, and I proved to be right about that. So I'm looking at it, and in this 25-15 loss, Oklahoma's leading rusher, featured rusher, is Javonte Barnes. Javonte, he who got stuffed in his own end zone for a safety, 8 rushes, 12 yards. At one point, Oklahoma run the ball 23 times for 1 yard per carry. OU did not score after those first 3 until Michael Hawkins decides to go and I'll do something here. I'll make us look something like we were in this game in the fourth quarter. 36 rush yards at Oklahoma. 3 turnovers, 3 sacks. Worst part about this is, again, Tennessee wasn't great. 194 pass yards, 151 on the ground, 2 turnovers, 3 sacks. 10 penalties, 81 yards. Oklahoma, 3 penalties, 32 yards. Oklahoma should have been in this game, and it should have been a fist fight down to the end. It should have been an absolute burner. And it should have been one of these that both programs would have been able to point to, win or lose, and be like, look at who we played, look at how we played them when it comes time to get into the college football playoff. Now Oklahoma's already on the thin ice. I realize that there are some folks that don't even think that Oklahoma features in the college football playoff conversation, but I assure you, because the schedule is so stacked, a one-loss Oklahoma would be in the conversation to get that spot based on the strength of the SEC. But not if you ain't got no quarterback. You saw what they did at Florida State when they ain't got no quarterback. They went 13-0 with an ACC title and said, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Meanwhile, that has been the thing that Josh Heupel has really been really great about from the moment that he became a coach. He was grad assistant for Jason White, who won a Heisman Trophy, you know. He recruited a 3-star from Putnam City North named Sam Bradford to Oklahoma, turned that dude into a number 1 overall pick. You know, we're talking about a man who said with great respect, he was the single greatest influence in my football career. He believed in me before I believed in myself. He saw something in me that I hadn't quite seen in myself, and he figured out a way to bring it out of me. Sam Bradford talking about Josh Heupel. That's what Nico's got coaching him. Jason White said this about Heupel. Regardless of why he got fired, we lost a guy that truly believed in Oklahoma football, and those are the guys you want. We lost a great coach with unlimited potential. I'm going to reemphasize this part. Those are the guys you want. A guy that truly believed in Oklahoma football. Because I'm looking at the offensive staff, and I would like to hear some explanations and some answers. I'm sure you would too. I would like to know from Bill Bedenbaugh what's going on. I would like to know with Seth Luttrell, what do you think you see that isn't showing up on the field? Because one of the things that football coaches love to tell us is that we're not in the day-to-day, we're not at practice. No, but we watch football games, and we got 2 eyes, and we can see what you are showing us, and what you are showing us ain't very good. Well, you know, when we run it in practice, to hell with practice. We play 12 football games a year. Those are the only ones we guarantee. It's why when people are going, RJ, you need to give Jackson Arnold time to grow up. No. I don't have to give him time to do nothing at all. The time for growing up was Temple. The time for growing up was Houston. The time for growing up was Tulane. This ain't no time to be growing up. You got to be there. Well, he's a young guy. You know who else is a young guy? Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. You know who else is a young guy? Ryan Williams at Alabama. You know who else is a young guy? Arch Manning at Texas. You know who else is a young guy? I can keep going down the line on this if you need me to. Trevor Lawrence showed up to Clemson as a true freshman and unseated a dude that took them to the college football playoff and won them the national championship. If you are a 5-star, you expect to play right away. And because you expect to play right away, I don't want to hear nothing about growing up. You better be grown when you get here. Ryan Williams is 17 years old. He is one of the 2 best true freshman players in the country. And I can keep going down the list. Caleb Downs playing safety at Alabama last year. Harold Perkins in year 1, the flu game against Arkansas. We can do this all day. You're not going to measure up there. It takes time for quarterbacks to grow up. No, it don't if you know how to play the game. If the game comes to you, then the game comes to you. If you need time to grow up, you need to sit down. Hold this clipboard, send in these signals. When it is your time to play, it is your time to play. Before we get too far into the weeds on it, I do once again want to say I am floored by what that defense is capable of, man. They got turnovers deep into the red zone that, frankly, just don't happen. Being able to go take that ball away from people and play the kind of stifling defense they were able to play, and to spy Nico like Danny was able to do, the way Kip Lewis is running to the football, that defense deserved a better offense. But, at the end of it, I just had a thought that this must be how Iowa Hawkeye fans feel full time. Damn. Full time, all the time? This is how y'all, I can't live like this. I can't. 15 points? 15 points at home? If Tennessee scored 25 points, if you told me Tennessee was going to score 25 points last year, hell, I'd have been like, then we're winning that game. In my head, I'm like, it's got to be 45-40, somewhere in there. 35-38, somewhere in there. They scored 25 points and won by double digits against Oklahoma at home. That ain't supposed to happen. So now we're back to is it me? What am I doing? Because I'm telling y'all, middle of the second quarter, I'm going through it. I'm looking up at the ceiling. I'm talking about you rooting for your team. Damn right I'm rooting for my team. I grew up over here, dog. I'm in my living room talking about this. I ain't in no press box. You getting a dose here. We at church now. Because that's what it was. I'm looking up at the ceiling, and I'm going, I read my good book. I read the good book. I pay my taxes. I help old ladies cross the street. I say yes, sir, no, sir. I don't be harshly profane on this show. Like, I am living right. I'm doing everything I can. What else I got to do so that my offense and my defense can be good? And I know it's possible because I've been watching Georgia and Alabama play for the past decade, and I know that you can have one that is super elite and one that's kind of okay and win a national championship because 2019 LSU exists. I know you ain't got to be outstanding at any one thing. You can just be good at everything you do and just sit on people like Michigan did last year. Run the table. It's been 25 years since Oklahoma last won a national championship. That means I have lived 2/3 of my life watching other people win titles at a program where winning championships is something of a regularity. Texas ain't won 7 national championships. Okay? I keep going down a list on this, but I don't want to run other people down to build myself up because, again, I don't want to have to do that. But I am saying being an Oklahoma fan used to mean, yeah, every decade we're going to get one. We might not get one, 1991, but we'll get one, 2000. We might not get, get what I'm saying? 2008 comes and goes. We squander that. And then the whole of the 2010s feels like the back end of the 2010s, we squander those opportunities. I'm just not always sure that you're going to keep getting these opportunities to go win great football games against great football teams. Tennessee is a great football team, and I expect them to continue to show that the rest of the way. But Oklahoma, you got to get out of your own way, baby. We ain't put them out like Texas. We got to go to Texas to recruit them. We're not made up of 4 different states. We don't have water on one side. We can't just keep going into the state to get what we need. Everybody in the state needs to come to Oklahoma. Don't misunderstand me, but there's a reason why we go to California, Florida, Texas, New Jersey, wherever there are players, so that we get in these spots and we can win these games. Get us back to a spot where we can win these games, Brent Venables.